Pitch and Pros family, welcome back to another episode. This is episode 6. I am your co-host, Justin Wolf, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Stefan Jones.
What's up? What's up?
Today's a very, very special episode because today's guest is a former professional soccer player turned coach whose journey from Ethiopia to the Bay Area allowed him to pursue the American dream, becoming an entrepreneur as the CEO and co-founder of the soccer training platform, Golden Boot Academy. He started his soccer career with East Bay United in Oakland, California, and at Berkeley High School before moving to Germany to continue his professional career, while then coming back and playing for the National Premier Soccer League with East Bay Stompers, and then the San Francisco Premier League with Oakland Soccer Club, and then with a bachelor's in communications and media studies, he was at San Francisco State, where he then used his playing experience and education to grow Golden Boot Academy, and which is now one of the biggest international soccer training platforms, working with clients such as the Ethiopian national team, U.S. Women's National Team defender, and 2023 Women's Player of the Year, Naomi Girma. Up there. Yep. And then Aston Villa midfielder, Leon Bailey, Everton midfielder, Oral Mangala, and many more we could definitely name off. Having amassed nearly 290,000 fans across his personal and Golden Boot Academy social channels, he's a content guru that loves sharing tips on how to improve your confidence and skills as a soccer/football star. Please, we are hyped and grateful to welcome the very first guest of the Pitch and Pros podcast, Mr. Nigus, Goose Solomon Kidane. My brother.
Goose, what's up, bro?
Man, you know what?
My brother.
My boy.
That was one heck of an introduction, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys, man. Honestly, it's an honor for me to.
Just hold up the mic a little bit more. There you
It's
go.
an honor for me to be, your first guest. I've seen you guys, start and build this, and as somebody who's, an entrepreneur and somebody who loves to build and grow, I'm honored to be here and to help you guys in that journey, and also to share my story with your audience as well. It's very exciting, and to know that Justin, somebody who's very, very, very close to me, is a part of this, then it was a no-brainer for me to be here. Like, I'll do anything for you, bro. So,
No, we appreciate
appreciate
that.
that.
but also, like, it's an opportunity for me to share my story as well. So
For sure.
appreciate y'all giving me that platform.
Of course, we
For
appreciate
sure.
you giving us our time.
Yeah, man.
No,
Yeah, and
we,
just make sure throughout just hold a
Just
little bit
hold it a
closer.
little higher.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. Perfect. Appreciate it.
No, we knew for sure, like, first guest had to be somebody special, and we're like, we got the perfect person for it. So it was like,
Thank you, man.
now
Thank you.
we're excited for sure, and we're grateful that you took the time, especially with how busy your schedule's been, and
Yeah.
especially I know a lot of the back and forth that's been going on, especially.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an exciting journey, exciting episode for you to showcase yourself to,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, our whole audience, and I mean, hopefully expanding to even more backgrounds.
Amazing.
But
Excited.
yeah, I mean, I think I'll get started with the questions and just kind of continuing on, so a lot of people kind of get to understand you and your background. Because I mean, for you, family's big for you, and then also
Yeah.
especially like we touched upon in the intro, came from Ethiopia,
Mm,
and so in the Golden Everything documentary you did with Everything brand,
yeah.
you admitted experiencing culture shock when moving to Oakland from Ethiopia. What about the change in environment stood out the most, and how did you adapt?
Yeah, I mean, so I moved here when I was 10, right? So as you can imagine, as a 10-year-old living in Ethiopia, I didn't speak English.
Mhm.
I mean, first and foremost, right? So, and we always had this imagination of what the United States or America is supposed to be or
Mhm.
is. So obviously, when the opportunity came, and my family, fortunately, we won a diversity lottery. So yeah, we won a diversity lottery
Oh
that
wow.
basically gives you a visa to come to the U.S. So we were very lucky.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very lucky. And yeah, it was a big celebration. The whole family's like, "Oh, y'all made it, go!" Like, and we had a whole
Hey, we
party.
out.
We out basically, and yeah, I mean, I was 10, so I didn't know what to expect. My whole life was Ethiopia. Moving here, no English, went straight into elementary school. It was difficult. I mean, obviously, I had to learn the language. I had to adapt quickly. Um, yeah, the transition was difficult, but I had my family with me. I had my parents. They were going through the same struggles I was, right? They had to, perfect their English, and my little sister had to grow up here, and um yeah, difficult, but not, but very, what's the word? It's what shaped who I am today, because I came straight to hardship. It's like, well, America is supposed to be this like amazing place. I'm thinking I'm gonna be like grabbing money off trees, because that's how they draw it for you, right? Back then,
Yeah.
at least when you're from Ethiopia, where the situations are not as amazing as here. So when we came here, we're in West Oakland. We're literally in the ghetto of West Oakland. I'm like, well, I need to adapt quickly, and be a part of this culture now and learn English quickly. So it was definitely hard, but it was definitely a time that I always reflect on and say, like, I've gone through this hardship as a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
because 10-year-olds are, I was very smart. Everything was Ethiopia. So the most vivid memories I have to this day is from the 10 years I spent in Ethiopia. Like, I forget what I did last week, but I don't forget like the memories of being in Ethiopia with my family, the day we left, all the people crying, the soccer games, and this and that I did growing up. So it's definitely what shaped me now, I think.
And I know too, in the documentary you talked about how your dad, he worked 3 jobs
Yeah.
when you guys moved here. Did he have that same level of work ethic, and was he doing a lot of different jobs too back in Ethiopia before you guys came here?
Yeah, so my dad he's always been like in and out of the house, like always working. So he was a teacher, he was a coach, he was a player, he had to be a parent. We had a restaurant, my family ran, so he would
Oh,
come and
nice.
serve. So he's always been that person,
Yeah.
he's always worked. And thank God for that, because when we came here, obviously my mom had to adjust quickly, and my dad was very strong. So he was straight to get me a bike, get me a job, and I'm just gonna work. And then, luckily we were staying with my aunt at the time, and 6 months in, we had to move out. And he already had 2, 3 jobs, so he was just like hustling. To this day, like I even tell him now, like, relax.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I need to work, and he's always working and moving and doing stuff. So I get a lot of that from him. So thankfully, like, and for me, I manage it a little better than him, I think, because I think he can use a little bit of relaxation and vacation, and I try to add a little bit of that into my life. But definitely his work ethic is like incredible, and I learned a lot from that.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's
No.
beautiful.
How would you say, or like what kind of sources do you think helped you especially adapt a lot quicker in that time frame where you're trying to transition into the US culture essentially?
I mean, I think football helped a lot, obviously.
Mhm.
Being able to connect like at recess or at lunchtime with people,
Mm.
and just being able to play, and you, because that's a voice, right? You have
Mm.
a voice through football. So I think that helped massively. I didn't know it was helping at the time when I was so young,
Yeah.
but definitely it's helped, and you can see it now. But also like my cousins, I have 2 cousins here that I grew up with, that were born here, so they helped me, and
Mm.
I would hang out with them, and they'll help me with my English, and still to this day we're very close. So um, I would say those 2 things, and just knowing like that my family's here. My dad is working all these jobs. My
Mm.
mom is like struggling to find her feet here. So I had to kind of be strong and like
Mm.
and learn English and be good in school, and you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that's what kind of helped me.
Yeah, and what's cool too, like it's great that you mentioned footy being the thing that helped you adapt to coming here, because you being a Manchester United fan, your dad being an Arsenal fan, like bonding over that, and despite the struggles, having that to connect with and to like having that form of enjoyment is good to sort of escape from some of those hard realities sometimes,
Yeah.
right? And so, what role did your dad play with like your love for the game of footy, and then also just how you grew your presence within the sport?
That's an easy one, man. So I grew up watching him play. As a professional player in Ethiopia at the time, it's not really that massive, right, to be a professional player. But
Mm.
for me, like, I seen it, I was around it, and the biggest sport in the country is football, right?
Yeah.
And
Of course.
my dad being a big fan of football, also a player. He didn't play a lot. After I was born, it was only a couple years that he was playing. But we always watched games together. So you just take me to watch games or watch it at the house or at his friend's place. So those are the core memories I have. Like, I still remember the day I saw Ronaldo like get substituted in for United. I saw Beckham play, and those are the memories that I have of United, and that's why even though we're very bad now, I can't like
Yeah.
even think about changing teams or not watching the game because it's so deeply rooted from those times where I remember Beckham, remember Ronaldo, O'Shea, and all these guys and Scholes and Giggs. Those are the times, not just because it's glory, but because it was just like the core memory of United, and that was through my dad, and we would watch Arsenal games as well and just compete. To this day, like when Arsenal United play, it's like a celebration at the house, like a holiday. Or when we lose, he's always calling me, or they lose, I'm always calling him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what shaped my football moving, progressing.
And Justin Allen, your dad, he coached you, and like even though he didn't play until later, you guys still share that commonality of
Yeah.
having your
Yeah.
fathers be a big reason why you fell in love with the sport. So talk a little bit about your experience with your dad and footy.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was like the fact that he coached me throughout all of it. He didn't
Mhm.
really play as much, like in terms
Yeah.
of like growing up, but I think once he saw that like I fell in love with the game when I started playing it, he wanted to really take the time to study the game, understand the game. Because I remember, very similar to you, the reason why I'm a United fan too is because of the fact that when he was trying to really study, he had like training videos of when CR7 was first coming onto the scene. You had Van Nistelrooy in the team. You had all like, yeah, literally the glory
The
days,
good times.
the good times. Now look at us now.
Yeah.
But I remember just watching those clips and those videos and seeing those players always stood out to me. I was like, oh, that's the team I want to support. That's the team I want to be around.
Yeah.
So I think him showing me that stuff helped my love for the game grow. And then also him wanting to help me get better was what helped us really connect a lot more. Because like I
Yeah,
said,
no.
he never really played that much. But just him coaching, him developing me, developing the people around me
Yeah.
helped shape my joy and my bond together with my family with footy for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So
No, I remember
yeah.
you telling me that like early on that your dad was coaching you and
Yeah.
he was involved in that. So that's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's core memories, bro.
For sure.
100%.
For
Tough to
sure.
get rid of.
It's especially like in terms of development too, right? Your parents are going to want to push you to be the
Yeah.
best possible that
Yeah.
you can be. And I mean, I still look back at it to this day with him. I know him and I butt heads a lot because I'm always hearing it either as a parent and as a coach. So it's tough to kind of have that off switch. But then I look back at him. Like, I think a big reason I'm the coach I am with you guys is because of him. He focused on development and being able to push me to be the best and push others to
Yeah.
be the best.
I
But
will say though, like remembering like me being your coach, your support, like the support you had from your parents was unbelievable, man. For
yeah.
me, it wasn't like that. Like
Mm,
unfortunately, because my dad worked 3 jobs,
yeah.
because
Mhm.
we had a bigger purpose in terms of he wanted me to take the safe route, go to school, do this, do that. And
Yeah.
my mom was, she wasn't into football. So it was like it felt like a distraction for them. So they weren't like able to, for example, drive me to all the games, deliver more here and there. So I had to find my way. So I had a very different um soccer experience with
Yeah.
my parents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just goes to show, like, for people out there, like, if you love it and it's what you do,
Yeah.
whether someone supporting, they were supporting me, but there's different types of support, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously they were allowing me to play,
Yeah.
but they weren't at every game.
Yeah.
Like, they
Mhm.
weren't really driving me places, but I understood why.
Yeah.
It's not because they don't want to, it's also because culturally, like in Ethiopia, you just go play with the kids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah. Yeah.
go get driven to games. Like, you
Yeah.
just walk there or run there. So
Yeah.
it was really good to it was good to see that the support system you had, where your mom would bring the chair, sit down, and
Just
watch us
watch.
train.
Yeah.
Like, those were like very beautiful
Yeah.
moments that you will cherish when you're
100%. Yeah.
60, 70. Like, it's not, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I, relating to that, will cherish how, like, what my parents were later as well,
Yeah.
because it's a different type of like support.
Definitely.
It made me more independent. It made me
Mhm.
like take the bus to training, or make sure I'm talking to my teammates to go to training.
Yeah.
So, and at the end of the day, like, the parents love you.
Mm.
And that's what you have to remember. Like, whatever situation you're in, the love for the game or the love for whatever you're doing should always like help you find ways to keep doing it.
Yeah.
No excuses, basically.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
For
No,
sure.
most definitely.
Yeah.
And like one thing too is like when you talk about that experience with your parents and their support with your footy passion, and then also just me seeing how you guys take your
Mm,
approach with Golden Boot. One thing that I remember vividly when I was preparing for this chat today is you guys, like with your kids and even like the older clients that you guys train, you especially, you said that you treat them like your family,
mm.
right? And so where does that come from, and how do you try to create that environment? Because a lot of times, especially in the sports industry, it can be difficult to have
Mm,
that bond
Yeah,
because it's everybody's so hustle bustle in the sports industry. Everybody's, sometimes they can feel like they're trying to use each other and there's not really that
absolutely.
camaraderie. So how do you both as coaches, like you as the business owner and you also as a coach,
mhm,
how do you both try to foster that environment with your clients?
I mean, I think it's easy. Like, it's just who I am in terms of like my values, like everything I've said, it's been
yeah.
about family and like where I come from.
Of
Like in
course.
Ethiopia, it's 10, 12 of us sleeping on the ground together. All my cousins, it's always like that's the core of everything was like family and like helping one another and growing together.
Hmm.
Times have changed now, obviously, the world, but when I was growing up there, it was like this. So every time I go back, I'm longing for these environments.
Mm,
And when you're training like kids, children in a one-on-one situation, it's intimate. It's like you have to be able to say the right things.
mm,
You have to get them to be comfortable, and you have to be
A
comfortable,
hundred
you
yeah.
know?
percent.
So, and the most comfortable conversations or the most comfortable times are always with family.
Yeah.
That you can do whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, you can act however you want. It's family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I try to replicate that into my sessions. Obviously, there's boundaries, right? But the way you speak to somebody, they have to feel the sincerity of it. And
Mm,
even in the business world with these guys, that's why they're very comfortable with me, right? Because I tell them from the beginning, like, bro, you're coming into family.
yeah.
No one's
Hmm.
gonna tower over you. No one's gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna lead accordingly and
Mm,
respectfully, but you're always gonna be treated like you're always gonna have a voice.
yeah.
And if our guys who are coaching here have that value, there's no reason why they're not doing that towards the client.
Mm,
That
Yeah.
would destroy everything we're building. Everyone, the parents are very close with us. We don't throw stuff in their
facts.
face.
Yeah.
We're not trying to grab money from them. Half the kids train for free or pay some little to nothing anyway. And people know that. And these things, we're not doing it on purpose. It's just what it is. That's just what Golden Boot is. It's family. So, imagine you have a 10-year-old daughter and you're sending her somewhere.
Hmm.
Like, parents bring the kids and then they leave for like an hour. Imagine that, leaving your 10-year-old son or daughter with some
Yeah. You want
coach.
to be able to trust
You
them.
want to be
Yeah.
able to be like, no,
Yeah.
it's okay. And guess what? You can come back in 2 hours because we'll still
Yeah.
be there with the kid. You can
Yeah.
come back. You can sit there and watch right there next to us. It's
Yeah.
you know that you're almost like leaving it with like a family, because we create that first,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the people who don't look at us like that or who have a problem with it are not with us anymore, coaches and clients,
Yeah.
because there's no longevity. So
Yeah.
I think it's easy. It's just values, bro. You
Yeah.
have good values, you have to put it everywhere in whatever you do, and then it works out.
And one thing too, like, because I want to hear your perspective too, Justin. But one thing I wanted to
Mm,
point out is like, for those of you listening and watching who have leadership roles or want to have leadership roles, like exactly what you just laid out is super important. Giving other people on your team a
yeah.
voice
Yeah,
and leading democratically. That's how I take my approach leading the
yeah,
podcast, like with Jeremy,
Yeah.
Justin. And that's what makes it go so well. Like, obviously we're all friends and brothers, but that's
Yeah.
what makes it such a great production. That's
Mm,
what brings in new ideas.
yeah,
And you give that same trust and care
yeah,
to
yeah.
not only the clients but also these guys, like
yeah,
him, Armand, Abdu, all the other
Yeah.
yeah.
coaches,
Yeah.
Johannes. So Justin, talk about that experience real quick, and then we'll transition into some other
I
stuff
I
too.
mean, he hit the nail on the head
Mm,
perfectly. I think just even I've gotten the perspective as a client and as a coach. So
mm,
I've understood both sides. It always has been family. And I
yeah,
think I've seen all the coaches that have come in that have stayed. And I think, like you said, it all comes from our values.
yeah,
Like we all have very similar values. I think we're all very close to our families
yeah,
because I mean, literally right here covered right now, but I got family tattooed on me. So
Yeah.
it's instilled within me to have those ideas of like I want to be close to everybody that I really truly trust and believe in. And I always have felt that from you and Joe, especially like
Mm.
you both have instilled that within this company and within everything we do, whether it's the kids being able to show up, bringing the best out of them with energy,
Mm.
dancing at camp, you know, like you even say, we deal with all your personalities,
Mm.
you got to deal with ours as well. Cause at the end of the day, that's how it is. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we got to deal with like each and every single one of us. So I think, like I said, they really instilled a lot into us as coaches to really take a grasp and take a hold into this business as well, especially something so big that you guys have built. It's hard to trust certain people.
Yeah.
And so being able to feel that trust is a blessing. And that's why I'm forever grateful to be a part of this family.
Mm.
There's no doubt about that.
Mm.
And I think that's what helps drive me every day is knowing I have a good family
Mm.
around me to push me to be better and really want to keep growing this overall business, but overall family. Because I
Yeah,
think we have so much more to do and
for
grow.
sure.
And I mean, I feel it even whenever I do coach the kids. I want them to feel like they are comfortable, they can be
Mm.
themselves, and that's what I see bringing the best out of them
Yeah.
is being able once they're in their most comfortable
Oh yeah.
comfortable area. Oh, it's they fly because you see it with new kids when they're kind of timid. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
like you kind of have to gauge what can they handle, what can't they handle, and then once they start getting more comfortable, you start seeing different sides of them, and then you're like, ah, okay, now I
Yeah.
can push their buttons a little bit and see what can I say to get them going a little bit more, and then
Facts. Yeah.
so it's such a like amazing feeling to really incorporate that into their lives and then really keep instilling it through our own lives as well.
Yeah.
But
Perfect. That's
yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I want to get into more now about how you built GBA, right? And you said it very, very perfectly at the beginning. Like when you come to the States, there's this image that's painted of,
Mhm.
oh, like money's growing on trees
Yeah.
and opportunity is in abundance, which to an extent there is
Yeah. Yeah.
opportunity available everywhere here, but you have to really go after it. And you already spoke to your work ethic that was instilled by your father
Mm.
and also just the passion that you have. And so obviously we're talking about a lot about the fun and the positive stuff with
Mm.
GBA, but there's a lot of struggles that come
Yeah.
with being a business owner, especially an entrepreneur and starting that. So, dating back to 2018 when you started this journey, what was some of the adversity that you faced and how did you overcome that? Like what were some of the tangible things that you did to overcome, I don't know, maybe the difficulties of booking clients or just whatever business things that you came across?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like, what the hell am I gonna do when I graduate college? Right?
Yeah.
It's in. I think it was like my sophomore year. I was talking to somebody actually at the cafe about this, the cafe owner at a moment, and she was asking me like similar questions. And basically, I was like, just got back from Germany, went back to school. I had so many jobs, bro. I was a burrito guy. I was a
Okay.
cashier. I did Domino's pizza, bro.
Delivery
I
or like working at the
delivery
store?
and at the store. So this
Sheesh.
was all like through college, high
Yeah.
school. I did Uber. I did Lyft for so many years. I think you remember those times
I do remember those
when I was
times.
doing that. So I would do like,
The Honda.
yeah, sessions.
Yeah.
Then I'll go at night, or
Yeah.
I'll go like in the morning. I'll do Uber. Like after training at SF State, I just had
Mm.
to I just had to make money. But every job that I had, I did well. So I was like
Mm.
a good employee.
Mhm.
But I always had a problem with somebody like flexing the authority on me,
Mm.
and that's why I like stopped all these things. Except I would say like Uber is, you can kind of do what you want, but it still felt like just wasn't me. It's like I had to like, it's too stressful.
Mm.
Where I knew that like somebody always, if someone complained, for example, I would have to go to this person and this person. Like I didn't like that.
Mm.
And usually like when you work at like Domino's or Burrito or this and stuff like that, someone's always trying to flex authority on you, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with authority. Someone has to lead. But when you overstep, then I have a problem with it. I'm very outspoken in that sense.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I basically left every job I had, is what I'm trying to say. And then I started, my first business was a clothing brand,
Nice.
right? So I had this really cool idea, about, it's called Outside Perspectives. It was basically like, to it was basically myself, right? And I thought about this while I was doing Uber one day in San Francisco, and I was like, well, I need a name. I want to start a clothing brand. And I thought, I said Outside Perspectives. Why? Because I am in this world, but I think I have an outside perspectives based
Mm.
on where I come from. So I can live in the United States and do whatever I need to do. But I know my identity. I know where I'm from. I know that what I'm doing is to better this or that, or is to go there. So I called Outside Perspectives, did it for about like a year and a half to 2 years, invested a lot of like money that I didn't have in it. And I was just doing Uber, trying to fund it. It did really well. People loved it. I sold a lot, but then I hit a wall, like a really big wall. But in the midst of like building it, I built a website on Wix.
Okay. Yeah.
I started social media. I learned how to edit on YouTube. I bought Final Cut. Like I was actually, without knowing it, learning how to like run a business. I was doing the finance stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I hit this wall, I was like, it was about like junior year, like the end of my junior. I was like, what am I gonna do now? Because I've spent all my money. I didn't make it back. What am I gonna do next when I graduate? I'm doing like communications with like emphasis on social media marketing,
Mhm.
which is cool. But I was like, what am I doing? Am I gonna go work in some office? So then I started coaching, and then Golden Boot kind of like grew from that, right? And obviously, the biggest hardship was, am I gonna put all my eggs in this basket? How am I gonna survive? So I decided to move back to my dad's house. I left the house at 18. Now I'm coming
Yeah.
back at like 23.
And this was
Mm.
still in Oakland?
Yeah, this was
Got you.
my dad is still in Oakland, but I had been gone for so long, and because I was I did a year, I took a year off school, so I was a little older, like graduating college, so I had
Got
to go
you.
back to my dad's, which I
Mm.
didn't want to, because I'm very independent. Like, I like to make my own money. I don't like to be a burden on, even though it's my
Yeah.
pops. So I'd have a conversation with him and say, look, I'm gonna contribute to rent, but I need to move back. He'd say, yeah, of course. He wanted me there. And I moved back, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do Uber every morning. Then me and Johannes gonna do sessions. I'm gonna do sessions here. Luckily, I had social media knowledge a little bit, and I know how to build a website. I know how to
Mm.
Yeah.
communicate, blah blah.
And real quick, sorry to interrupt, but talk to the audience too about Johannes and how you guys met, because I know
Yeah,
Johannes in the Golden Everything doc, he talked about how you two
yeah,
y'all met up at a cafe in Piedmont,
yeah.
and that's pretty much where you guys agreed to start working together on Golden Boot Academy, right?
Yeah,
Or
so when I had the idea, it was with my other friend Dana. We just talked about it, we're like, hey, well, maybe we can do some stuff with the Ethiopian kids, like in the
Mm.
area. And that was kind of the idea of starting Golden Boot,
Mhm.
because I was coaching teams then for the Glens. And then the first person I thought of was Johannes. I was like, yo, you know what? I'm about to move back to Oakland. I'm gonna move back to my dad's. If me and Johannes can tackle this together, if he's down, then we can do this. So I went to him and said, this is the name. We're gonna draw the logo, and we're just gonna coach, bro. You're doing some coaching here. I'm doing coaching in SF. I still have a couple months in San Francisco. I'm gonna start the Instagram and do it there. You're gonna start in Oakland, and we're just gonna keep doing this. So we'd go back and forth, back and forth. I
Got
would go
you.
there, come here. Yeah, he's my best friend, bro. Like we connected very well from the minute he came. So it was very easy, and he loved it. He was like, yeah, like let's do it. So, and the rest is history, right?
Love that.
We just grinded every day. I mean, it's been almost 9 years now, and we work every day. It's never
Mm.
been a time off where we're not coaching. It's always something happening.
Mm.
So yeah, shout out to Johannes, man, because I mean, without him, we wouldn't be where we are now, right? Because he keeps me grounded, and like he's very he thinks very logical.
Mhm.
Sometimes I
Mm.
kind of spiral, and he's very like logical. So we're a
That's
good
how this
good
guy is with
match.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need that, bro.
Yeah.
You
The
need the
balance.
balance.
Yeah.
Because if you're
You
too
have to.
alike, then it's too crazy. If you're way
100%.
too different, it's also too crazy. So
Yeah.
he's very logical. I'm very like experimental, and like,
Yeah.
so it's
It
good,
is. Yeah.
it's good. So it's important that you're like that you have a partner that you can do that with. So shout out to him. But yeah, even with him, like we were like, how are we gonna make money
Mhm.
and not do something else? So we're like, okay, Uber is great. So he would also do Uber. He would do Lyft.
Mm.
We would be in Fremont and like do a session, then drive back to Alameda and the little Honda or the Prius or Oakland. So the hardest part was that is like, how the heck we gonna make enough money?
Yeah.
One, keep growing the business. Two, where it doesn't take too much time from us. And three, like, where is it gonna go? So those were the biggest hardships. But honestly, I didn't care. I was like, I'm prepared to do any other job in order to keep growing this, because 6 months later we were already like here, and boom, boom, boom. Again, primarily because of who we were. It didn't
Right.
really have much to do with training in the beginning, because anyone can train, bro. Even now, like, it's not hard to do what we do if you're passionate about it, if you're a good person, and if you connect with people.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. So we just knew we were just ourselves, and people loved us because we were good people.
Yeah.
And then we obviously inevitably we're gonna be better trainers. So then they're like, oh, these guys are amazing people, and the training is actually pretty dope. So why would they leave? But we didn't realize what we had till later. We're like, oh, you know what, bro? They love us. Like, they want Goose, Johannes. So whoever we bring in needs to be like us.
Yeah.
That's why we only have 8 people. If I really wanted to open this up, bro, we could have 20 coaches easy.
Yeah.
But then we lose something, don't we?
Right.
So, and
That
I think we talked about it.
connection.
We had like 16 coaches all together.
Yeah,
and there's
total. Yeah.
7 left, right? Including me. 6
left.
6 of us
6 of
only.
us left.
If you're counting me and
Yeah.
Johannes, right? So 4 coaches really, because Abdu's also 3 coaches really, because Abdu's like basically grew up with us, right? So think about that, like how massive we are and how big we are on social media, and we only have 6 coaches, including the 2 owners.
For the other coaches, I mean, we don't have to get into the specifics of who left and why, but what are some things that, like, people who want to be coaches, what are some things that you think that maybe they think they can do, or they have this preconceived notion of what being a coach is like, but then they get into it and it ends up not being like that, right? Because I'm sure that there's a lot of people listening and watching who really admire what you two have built on your own as individual coaches, but also as business partners. So, talk to us and to the audience about that. Like, what are things that people maybe think or expect coaching to be like, and owning a training business to be like, but then once they actually get into it, they're like, oh shit, this is way more than what I was expecting.
Yeah, first of all, I would say don't do it because other people are doing it. Like, I've interviewed people, and I'm very passionate when I speak, like, especially about Golden Boot and stuff that I love. So I've talked to people, and they would get so inspired, but they'll be like, oh, they'll text me like, yo, I'm gonna go start my own thing and the blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's great. If it works out for you, it's amazing. But like, you're doing it because you came to get a job at Golden Boot or to come to this family. And because I gave you so much inspiration, you felt like it was very easy to just go duplicate. That is a recipe for disaster. I think personally,
100%.
it could still work. I mean, you can still make money, like coaching, like because at the end of the day, I always say you can teach someone what not to do, and that's still teaching and learning, right?
Yeah.
But like, is that sustainable? Probably not. Now, if you're starting because private training is the next best thing you can make money from, it won't last. But if you're starting because you love the game, you actually want to see development, you actually want to be successful in the right way, then yeah, by all means, like, the more coaches there are, the better it is for us.
Yeah.
There's more players, more people,
Yeah.
more people to connect with. The ecosystem of football grows when the next man is doing something similar in the right way. Like, it's amazing. But there's so many people that are doing it for money, or some people that are doing it because it's just the next best thing to do.
Yeah.
And I've seen it for so long, right? It doesn't work, or you're just not really teaching the game correctly. And sooner or later, people will catch up to that. I mean, people pay good money to do training. Like, parents are paying a lot of money. So at the end of the day, if there's no development, or the kid is not becoming like a better human, it's like, why am I going to keep sending my kid there? Even if you're an amazing coach, but you're kind of like a weird guy, or you're not really teaching good values. It's like, it's not enough to just, because what's the percentage of that kid actually even going to college to play football? It's not very high. But if you can teach them, like, to have tough skin, to be resilient, to be good people, to teach through actions and showing up and being disciplined, then you're actually cultivating a good human,
100%.
which lasts way beyond even if the kid played Premier League level. So for the coaches out there, like if y'all really want to get into private training, like do it for the right reasons. You will make money, but you will make money, you will make people happy, you will grow, you will be more fulfilled if you do it for the right reasons. And a lot of
Yes.
coaches that have come and gone with us, I'm not gonna say that they were not in it for the right reasons, but I would say they weren't very patient.
Yeah.
And that's something that I purposely do. I'm like, look, I paint them this amazing picture, which is where we are, but they're never going to be able to jump right into that. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You have to earn your stripes. You have to prove yourself. You have to connect with people. You have to show the same values that we show, and you have to show the same passion and love. Then guess what? I don't have to do much for you. It will come to you.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Of
So
course.
don't jump the gun. Don't go trying to start your own thing because other people are doing it, and be patient. And then like you'll reap the benefits of it. Like,
And I think Justin, you're a testament to that. Like a
yeah.
lot of what he's saying,
Yeah.
I've seen you adopt that. So
Yeah.
talk to us about what you learned from Goose and Johannes and Abdu and everybody else, because you were one of the first coaches that they brought on, and
Yeah.
especially like before you were a client with them.
Yeah.
So talk about the things that you really wanted to learn from Goose and the rest of the coaches, and also I've seen that patience from you because I've known you since before you even became a
Yeah.
client with them. So
Yeah.
I've seen you just stick
Really?
with it, stick with it, stick
Yeah, I
with
didn't
it.
know that.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all knew each other for
We've
that
been
long.
homies since
Yeah,
freshman year of
high
high school.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Right? That's why
I
I
was
be
like,
messing with
these
them all the
guys just
time.
met and they're very close, and
No.
I was like, it's dope.
Yeah.
No, I think it's
Yeah.
dope
No, we've known each other for a long time.
because like I don't make new friends, bro. Like
I'm the same way.
to
I'm
be
the same
honest,
way.
because
Yeah.
it's just about like loyalty, friendship is.
Yeah.
We're
Facts,
so
yeah.
busy as well. You
I've known him
everyone.
since 6th grade.
There you go. So all
Yeah.
my friends as well are like very close. And
Mm.
if you see me with somebody like really hanging out,
Yeah.
then know like it's probably
It's
someone
family,
close,
pretty
or
much,
That's
yeah.
what's
I'm
up.
doing some business transaction because
100%.
you don't just
Yeah.
go making new friends. We're
Nah.
not in the world we live in today. So
Nah.
I didn't know that,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
dope, yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, we're brothers. But yeah, what did
that's
you learn from
family.
him, man?
I think no, exactly what you said. Like patience is a virtue. Like I know I had to
Mm.
work my way up with this company for sure. Because I mean, I was the guy that I'm still the young guy. I'm still the youngest one here. So even for how long I've been with the business, I'm still the youngest coach. So I'd say when I first started, it was very easy for me to be the guy to go to in terms of, hey, I need you to come do the session
Yeah.
like 30 minutes before, hour before. Yep, I'm coming because I wanted it though. I wanted to learn. I wanted to grow. I wanted to get better because I could see the vision. And I think that's for me what it really came down to is the trust in you guys and the vision. Because I mean, there's gonna be people behind the scenes that they're not gonna understand it. And I'm sure even for you as well, there might have been family or people behind the scenes like, oh, is this really gonna be worth it? Like, are you really gonna put in? Is it worth the
100%.
sacrifice? So that's the thing is I stuck by it the whole time because there was people that didn't really see it because they saw I was having to struggle still. I know we're on the up, but I still had to struggle, and I
Talk
still had
about
to
those struggles, like because you commuted a lot. You were still in school. Talk about those things.
So that's I was about to touch up on that
Yeah.
was especially being still in San Francisco and being at state and trying to finish my degree. It was still like that uncertainty of what I was trying to do to a point, and then as well as with that, still trying to grow the SF area because I remember in that time frame, it was me and one other coach, and then for a bit it ended up being just me. And with that, it still was tough because I was trying to finish my classes. I was trying to commute because my last year I was commuting. I was staying in Concord, driving out to San Francisco, trying to get my classes done, trying to get my sessions done. And I felt like that's where I got a little off track in terms of business wise. And then you getting on me a bit more, Johannes getting on me a bit more. It helped me understand, hey, with that long-term vision, I got to put in the sacrifice, the effort to make sure all that sacrifice I've already made continues to grow. Because I think I had to take a step back and reflect and understand I've already put in a lot of time and effort into this. I want to see it continue to take good steps forward because I could already see the good steps it was taking from my first camp at Raimondi, like wearing COVID masks, trying to get just a random field to then having 100+ kids at our Wilder camps consistently. So once I started to finally understand and see it, I was like, okay, Now it's really time to put in for it, because I don't think it clicked with me enough. I really don't think it clicked with me enough initially. No matter how much I really did see it, I think I was so distracted about, like I said, school, trying to still play consistently, and I had all these different things on my mind. And I think me just being patient and understanding, hey, I'm gonna have 3-4 sessions this week. I gotta kind of take the hit. I even had to do or Uber Eats a little bit just to kind of keep myself going, because I thankfully my parents helped me out a lot. They did, but I didn't want to get to a point where I had to rely on them, because I relied on them too much in terms of finances and living at home, all that stuff. So I wanted to get to a point where I needed to be independent, and I defined myself be independent. So I think going through those struggles as well, being able to kind of start at a good level and then start at ground zero again, trying to build something and build that branch, to then now, all right, I've helped build the branch even more and helped build the business even more. I want to see us all grow as well. And I'm hungry for more. And I think that's what's driven me to want to do more, is just like understanding I gotta stay patient. I gotta stay focused. I gotta continue to just trust the process at the end of the day. Trust the process. Trust God.
I think, no, I mean, Justin, obviously, like, we have so much history, right? But I think the biggest thing for you, or this is like good on us, is we allowed you to do what you wanted.
100%.
It's like, you want to go play, okay, go. Like, we value you. When you come back, we're here. We even did a going away party for him. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So it's like,
exactly.
It's like, I can easily say, like, bro, like, why would you go? Like, we need you. We're doing it. No, it's like, no, bro, go. Because if you come back, great. We'll have a place for you. If you don't come back, and if you don't go, then you're always gonna have this regret. And that's the culture here. So anybody who wants to do something, I always tell them, like, I will support you, even if it's financial. I will support you. I don't need you to return it back to me, but it's very important that people find themselves. Because he left, and then he started doing stuff online for people, right? Which was cool. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Then he hit me up. He's like, Goose, you know what? How can I make more money while I'm on? I said, yeah, I'll create something for you. So we created. I had the admin person create a job for him so he can make money. So he ended up opening our LinkedIn accounts and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, we'll pay you for that. So these are like, this is what I mean by family. Like, I'm not doing it because, I think Justin will come back one day. I'm doing it because it's Justin. Like, we already have a connection. So whether he might have never came back, and he might still have a job with us doing admin or something. Who knows? You know what I mean? So that's all it is. It's like, it's the core value of us, and also, like, you planted something and the seed is just growing now.
And you gave him that trust too, because even this year, like, one thing that I really appreciated that you did for him was you gave him an opportunity when you guys went down to LA, and forgive me if I butcher his name, but to train Maxime Busi. Did I say that right? Yeah. So talk to us more about the pro clients that you have, because you have Maxime, you have Naomi, you have Oral, you have Leon. So talk more about all those.
No, that's a whole different world, right? That's amazing. And obviously, training Oral for me 2 years ago was like, oh my God, before I kicked the ball with him, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to train a Premier League the midfielder. Like, this is crazy. And the minute we started kicking the ball, it was like he was just another client. It was like I was just lost in the session, and I was like, wow, all of my guys can do this. Of course they're gonna be nervous. I'm still nervous sometimes when I do it, because
that's a good thing.
You know what I mean? It's like,
we care. That's why I
prepare extra hard, because I'm nervous and I want to make sure it's I'm a perfectionist, bro. Like, even if one cone is black and one is red, I can't coach like that.
Told you.
For me, like,
he literally was telling me this on the way here.
That's just how I am. I'm always like, it has to be symmetrical. The video has to look this way. So I just take the same meticulous approach to when I coach 9-year-olds. So when I'm coaching Mangala, the cones have to be the same, because I do it with 9-year-olds anyway. So what I wanted to do for him was, one, he's just been like amazing, right? He's been growing. I'm not going to just give an opportunity. People just didn't give me the opportunity to trade on rail.
I had to work for it.
I had to work for it, and I had to give up something for it, which we had to. And he knows, right? It's not stuff in life. It ain't free, bro. No. It's not. It's always something behind it. So when I offered it to him, I was like, Justin, I think you deserve to be there. I think this guy is good enough level, high enough level, and I think you guys will connect. Also, because he's a right back. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a connection for him.
Yeah.
And also, Justin has a quality that I don't, which is mobility and the warm up side. That's not my go to. That's not
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
He's very, very good at that. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're going to also provide. You're not just there behind me. You're going to lead.
Yeah.
You have a lead. You know what I mean? I trust you in that lead. And I knew from speaking to Maxime that they would get along because
Yeah.
he loves him even now. Like he loves him. You know,
That's
I'm
awesome.
training him now
That's the boy. Yeah.
from the 26th to the 28th in Dubai, and he's, you know, he would love it if he saw Justin there. He loves us.
Yeah.
So it was calculated, right? From the
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
he's gonna add value, of course. From the personal side, he's now getting to train with League One player, a Belgian international.
Yeah.
It's
Yup.
amazing for him.
Yeah.
And his personal image, you also got to think about that. So
Yeah.
his personal image is also important to the overall picture. So
Yeah.
him posting with Maxime, him posting with
Yes.
Lino, who we fortunately were able to meet.
Yeah.
I'm sure he told you the story of how we met, right?
Yeah.
We had
Mhm.
to kind of get out of our or
Yeah.
he had to get out of his shell to be able
Yeah.
to speak to somebody,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
it was calculated, and
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
deserved for him, but it was also calculated because now, guess what? If I need him in LA to go train a Premier League player, I'm not
I'm
gonna
there.
think twice about it. I'm saying Justin,
Yeah.
go, because I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah.
You see? So
Yeah.
it comes back to this main picture of golden boot, personal growth, and what you deserve.
Yeah.
And then in the midst of that, we ended up training an Atletico Madrid player.
Fire.
And
Yeah.
So far.
and look at that.
Yeah.
Like both our images are great. Golden boot grows. I
Yeah.
had to go. I said, Justin, go speak to him. He said he was scared. He was that. I said, no, this I could have done it from the beginning.
And you guys
obviously.
were in a shoe store, right?
We're in
when
a
that
shoe
happened?
store, like,
Yeah.
and
in
I was,
LA?
and I didn't even recognize him. I just knew he was a footballer because they were looking at us.
Yeah.
I said, Justin, go talk to him. He was kind of beating around the bush. I went and I was
wasn't
like,
sure. I was like, hey.
See, look, he's even blushing right now.
that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
those are things like, you know, that Justin struggles with. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, a growing,
Yeah.
you know, he's a
Yeah.
very nice guy,
Yeah.
you know, and which is amazing. We love him for that. But he's a yes man for most of his life.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, bro,
True.
even if it's
It's
me,
true.
you have to learn to say no. Even if I'm not happy with this sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there was times one day when he said it, and I was like, I remember I was like,
Growing some hair on his
I
chest.
was like, you know what? I like that.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to have
Yeah.
boundaries, you
Yeah.
know, you got to be able to say like, no, da, da, da. And we ended up talking to Lino. It all worked out. And then we went to the Nike store. He ended up talking to somebody and I recognized he plays in Saudi. And I said, go, Justin, go talk to him. He went up to him. He talked to him. This guy has 1.3 million followers
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah.
Plays for some team in the Saudi league.
I think it's Qatar now. I think he's in Qatar
Is he
now.
in Qatar
Yeah.
now?
I think he
no,
went
I
to
don't
Qatar.
think so.
He
I think
transferred
it's-
though. He transferred.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so he's very famous, follows Justin now on social
Yeah.
media. He shouted us out, and
That's
that's the
awesome.
conversation at the Nike store. So things like that
Mm.
I could do. It doesn't affect me. I've done it for so long, you know. I've gotten no's, I've gotten yeses, but for him, it's a learning opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So when he's out on the field by himself, he's gonna have to communicate with the pro player. I can't be there. You're gonna have to text them on WhatsApp and set it all up, and
Yep.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I'm not gonna be there to hold your hand.
Yeah.
That's what we're gearing for the
Yeah.
future, you know.
Yeah.
So in due time, everyone gets there, right? Because
Yeah.
it took me 8 years to train a pro player.
Yeah.
Mm.
Whether I think I'm good enough to do it or not, it took me 8 years to get even a sniff of one, you know. But when the opportunity came, I was more than prepared,
Yeah.
Speaking of,
you know.
so as we're recording this, it's December 18th, 2024. This weekend on the 21st, you guys are hosting an all girls camp with Naomi
Yeah.
Girma. So what was your reaction when you found out that you guys were going to do that, Justin? And how are you guys approaching that in terms of hosting it and what's all the behind the scenes stuff that's going into setting that up?
I think I was excited for the fact that I think it was an opportunity for all of our kids to do something big. And obviously it's helping our business grow as well. But I think it was a good opportunity for us to really showcase, hey, look, this is an opportunity for a lot of the girls that we want to inspire to take
Yeah.
the next step, to meet someone that's an inspiration to them. Because I think we've even had conversations like, we don't have a female coach right now. So it's like, it's hard for us to really help them connect with us in a different way. So them getting that perspective from a top level female player is something that I think is just huge and can
Mhm.
really help others take good steps forward. And I think it'll be a good benefit for us to really. I think it'll be a benefit for us to learn from Naomi too, to really
Oh
see
yeah,
how
yeah.
just she interacts with them and how we can learn to interact more with the girls and just making sure that you know everyone's getting the most out of it. But I think in terms of preparing for it, we know that one, it's gonna be a lot of people.
Mm,
It's a lot of people.
What's the head count right now?
it's 120.
120. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing. And
yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's like a huge blessing for you too, like seeing
Yeah.
the growth and how many kids you get to
Yeah.
train now.
No, I mean, the whole thing with Naomi is incredible because last year we met like randomly. She's Ethiopian.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
as you can imagine, a lot of people from even when she was at Stanford were trying to like link us
Yeah.
together. And I was like, nah, you know what? If it happens, it happens. And it happened very, very naturally last year where she was at the top field training with someone else and saw all the golden boot stuff and the flags and everything. That was the first time we actually bought all that stuff.
Oh, I
So
remember
maybe
that.
she might not even have noticed that it was us
Yeah.
if the flags weren't there. And then she asked the trainer she was with, who turned out to be my friend, to introduce us. So it was
Yeah.
like very, very natural and no, not
I
forced.
love that.
I wasn't messaging her. I wasn't having people like it was very natural. And we did 2 sessions with her and we just connected on
Yeah.
the training level. She loved it. On the personal level, I spoke a lot about Ethiopia and what I want to do, which I still talked about today. And and I knew like once that happened, once we trained her and she understood that we're not just some Ethiopian guys that she wants to train with, but the quality and the substance of the training is actually elite.
Yeah.
Then it's endless, right? So
Yeah.
this year when we talked about her 3 week preseason, and she's gonna do with us starting on the 23rd, which is next week.
Yeah.
I told her, look, I said, I want to do something on the girl side with you. Like whether she now is like massive than she was last year. She was big last year, but now she's massive.
Mm.
This was an idea that I had before. So it
Hmm.
wasn't like a branding thing where I want Golden Boot to be this. No,
Yeah.
that's gonna happen regardless
Yeah.
whether we do a camp or we train her. We already train her. She's all over our Instagram. But we cannot give the girls something that, because we're just not like female coaches connect differently
Yeah.
with girls. We're all guys and we're aggressive, and the way we train is very
Yeah.
like in your face, and sometimes it's important to kind of, yes, you can hire as many woman coaches as possible. It's difficult to find
Hmm.
girl
Mm.
coaches. So if you're a girl coach and you're watching this and you want to get
Yeah.
involved, send us a message because we are looking for
Yeah.
women coaches. So I want to hire women coaches,
That's a good
not
thing. Yeah.
only for the girls, but also because it gives us different perspectives when we're
Yeah.
in meetings as
100%.
well and different
Yeah.
ideas, and also for the guys that we train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And different emotional approaches and things like
exactly,
that.
and it's
Yeah.
important, and if moving forward, like I want to keep looking for that, but it's not easy to hire,
Yeah.
to find. So Naomi, yeah. So we're gonna do this camp. We're gonna impact 120 kids
Amazing.
on the field, but we're gonna impact so much more with the content that we're gonna bring out
Yeah.
based from that camp. So the reach is gonna be endless,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's hopefully gonna bring more kids into us as well, so that they can get the best training
Hmm.
that we think we have the best training, or we think we develop well. I'm not gonna compare to anyone else, but our methodologies work. We've proven it. So if we can get more girls in
Yeah.
through that, it's amazing as well. Financially, it's
Yeah.
great. It's great for the girls. It's also good because I just got off the phone with her actually a couple hours before you guys came, and we
Nice.
were going through the rundown of the camp. And I
Yeah.
told her the biggest thing I want to do is use some of the money, and she loves this idea, to give back to Ethiopia. So
That's
to the
incredible.
women's game in Ethiopia. And I told her, beyond everything else, there are girls there that love football. There are
Yeah.
girls there that are trying to get into school. Just in general, girls, younger girls, older women that are struggling. So if we can use some of that money and use your name as well to give back, for me, like beyond everything else, it's gonna have a more long lasting um impact,
Yeah.
right? So, and she loved it, and I told her everything I want you to know that is driven by the community and what we want
Yeah.
to do, and not for publicity of being with you, because we've
Yeah.
already been with her. Now, that's why I had to do this whole debrief with her about everything, because I'm like, I don't I don't want us to be all in your face, and I want us to know your boundaries of how much we can record and what we're going to show,
100%.
because
Yeah.
I don't want her to, I would never want her to feel like we're using this just for us to grow. Yes,
Yeah.
it's very much also that, because we're the first ones to provide something like this for girls, especially in the Bay Area. Nobody's doing it. Everyone is training pros, but who, and shout out to her, because she didn't have to do this.
No, yeah.
She didn't have to do it. But because of the impact we had for 2 days of meeting her last year, and me being like adamant about communicating with her throughout the year, posting her accomplishments, telling her, yo, good job, yo, sending her videos, going to her game when she
Mhm.
came here after our sessions in my flip-flops and taking a photo there and saying, yo, you played well, yo, this is the feedback. She felt that value that we talked
Yeah.
about earlier.
Mm.
And it was like, I asked her and she said yes, and we got on a call and she said, amazing, I'm down to do it.
And I think
Yeah.
that should
Think
be
about
one of the
that.
biggest takeaways too for people
100%,
who
man.
want to be
Yeah.
trainers and coaches. Maintaining client relationships,
Oh,
and then
bro,
not even just
huge.
client, but just relationships with pro players,
Yep.
with the families of your clients. That goes into the long term and the longevity success
Yeah.
of the business. But I just want to say I'm really looking forward to seeing how
Yeah.
successful it is.
You should come.
I think 100%.
Bro,
Oh,
be
he's there.
there, bro.
100%.
Be there. Bring your camera, man.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
it's gonna be an experience.
Mm.
It's gonna be like, bro, it's gonna be amazing, man. And I invite you to come and
Appreciate
be a
that.
part of it. I think you'll get to see the culture that we have. Our
Yeah.
camp cultures are unbeatable, bro.
Yeah,
The
I love seeing the little
dancing,
dances.
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah,
like
all of
come
it.
in, bro. Like be there,
It's
please. And
different.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. And big shout out to ProDirect, because they're massive, and we're getting into a partnership with them. So by the time this airs, hopefully we've like announced it fully.
Congrats
Yeah.
on that, by
But
the way.
it's massive,
you,
right?
yeah.
So they're co-sponsoring it with us, so the reach will be even more massive, because the idea is to empower girls, to empower the women's game. I enjoy the women's game. I watch it as much as I can. I coach a lot of the girls, so for me this is unbelievable, amazing. Shout out to Naomi. It's gonna be one heck of a day.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. And we're gonna capture it, the essence of it, and really show it to the world, that and it hopefully inspires other trainers to do it, to go and
Mm.
help the women's side and not just show men and stuff like that. So
I
hope-
think it'll have a big snowball effect too.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
so, man.
And I'm hoping too that it also shows other trainers and coaches take risks too.
Yeah.
I think it's showing that you take a risk by trying something and probably pay off, because I mean, who really would have expected that? At the end of the
Bro,
day, who would have really expected that? So
Yeah.
taking that risk and just trying it, and like you said, keeping those connections, building those connections can get you a long way. And just it's all within the networking that we've done, and then the networking that
100%.
many other people can do. And it's just like I said, risk taking.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to take that risk if you really want to do it.
If you
Try
can
it.
respectfully, the right way, with good values, maintain a relationship with a 9-year-old and their parents, you'll do it with somebody high profile, because it's just what
Yeah.
you're used to. We don't
Yeah.
do anything different for Naomi. I still hit up kids when they send me videos, or when I watch their videos, or when I go to their games, like, yo, good game.
Yeah.
Let me give you point low. Let me come to
I
your
love
game.
that.
Like, I'm not going to her games because she's a pro. I'm going to her games because she's a good person. She's our client.
Yeah.
Like, I do the same thing with kids. It's the same conversations. It
Yeah.
never changes. So I don't change up for the pro clients because they are pro clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just the
maintaining
same.
that authenticity
It's the same.
and also just having consistent character, which I
For
think
sure.
you both display.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both very consistent character.
Yeah, Justin.
But
Justin, shout out to you. Good, he's good at that too, like maintaining relationships, and
100%.
it's important,
Yeah.
bro.
It's huge. It's the biggest thing, I feel like.
It is.
It really is, because I think at the end of the day, yeah, we can do our jobs in terms of developing the kids, but if we're not really building those deep connections with families and really trying to see how they are, and like
Yeah.
how they are outside of soccer, football at the end of the day, because you even mentioned it earlier, there's gonna be some kids, they might not make it to college, to pro. So how are they going to use all the life lessons we give them to take a step forward in a different direction? And I mean, we still have to care about them in that
For
way, because
sure.
we've seen them grow in many aspects. And I'm sure there's been a bunch of kids that we have trained that have taken different avenues,
For sure.
but
Yeah.
have taken a lot of the core values that we've instilled in them to really take a big step forward in a different light. So no, I think that's been key for all of us. And it's
Yeah.
another reason why are also strong together as a group and so
Yeah.
strong in building the success of the business and building the success with the families and the clients and making sure that, you know, everyone's balling at the end of the
Yep.
day. Everyone's balling
Yeah.
out.
I also think like some of us, like you have a gift of that, bro. And it's
Appreciate that.
calculated why, for example, now you have the work phone. So I don't have
Yeah.
the work phone anymore. Justin has it. It's not random. I could have
No,
gave it
yeah.
to anyone else, but
No.
It's that
I know
trust.
somebody who's gonna be able to keep maintaining relationships
Yeah.
through the phone is very important. Because yes, everything is automated online, but people still want to speak to someone. People
Yeah.
want to still get text back right away. And yeah, you know,
Yeah.
everything I do is calculated, bro. It's never
It has
random.
to
I know.
be. Yeah.
It
It's
is.
never random. So the
It
reason
is, yeah.
I know why he has it, and I know that when I reach out to him about this, and these things happening on the phone, I know that the response I get will be like what I'm looking for.
100%.
Because I monitor, I see all of it. I was telling him the other day, I see every single message
Yeah.
every day.
He still
It's
sees
like
it.
I
Yeah.
have the phone. Oh, it's just on my computers, but
Yeah.
I leave it because I'm like, you're gonna do it, and eventually you'll be so good at it. Well, I don't even want to look at the messages.
And then see, that just goes to show like
Yeah.
the growth that you've been able to create with the business and having people that you can trust, right?
For
And
sure.
then, so it's a
Huge.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Like all the growth
It's
that has
huge.
happened over these years, it's been great. And so to close us out, Goose, we got a couple quick hitters for you. So
Okay.
I know you're a fashion guy.
Oof.
So if you could only wear one shoe brand,
Dang.
one
Don't
pant,
do
one
that, bro.
pant,
Don't do that.
one pant or short brand, one shirt or
Like
jacket brand.
shorts.
Like pants or shorts.
Yeah, one pants or shorts,
Brand, all different
one
ones.
shirt or jacket brand, and one accessory brand for the rest of your life. Which would they be? Remember, quick hitters. So gotta be
Okay, if I'm
off the
going,
first one that
if
comes
I'm
to your
going
mind.
shoes, I'm going Force.
Okay,
Yep.
I like that.
Shorts,
Jordan
I'm not
4s.
really massive
More
on
like
on
pants,
shorts, but
pant
pants,
brands.
I would say right now I'm looking at like some like cargo but baggier jeans, like cargo and baggy jeans
So like a
vibes because they
Carhartt
go
brand or what kind of brand?
like a Carhartt brand,
Okay,
yeah. But they
okay.
go very well with Force because I'm into like wearing the bigger shoes.
Yeah,
If I go shirts off tops, it's the Kids of Immigrants.
I love
Well,
that.
hey, big shout out to Kids of Immigrants, bro. If y'all not on it,
Mm.
get on it, man. This is not a paid sponsorship, but it's just quality, and what they stand for is really like Kids of Immigrants, and I really
sick.
resonate with that.
Yeah.
And one day I will do something with them. What was the other one?
So
Accessory?
accessories, yeah.
I'm not very massive on accessory, but right now, as you can see, I got on the Omega Swatch, the Snoopy. So I've been kind of more into watches. Shout out to Johnny Vegas, Dubai, who's put me on these watches. So
Fire.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah.
That's
Bet.
sick.
Yeah.
Next one. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received, and also the worst?
The best piece of advice I've ever received was control the controllables.
Mm.
And
good.
that goes
Both of us went.
We can
That-
telepathically.
Yeah.
but that goes in football, but
Yeah.
also in life, man.
Yeah.
It's key. Control the controllables.
Mm,
Sometimes some
like
things you
that.
just cannot control, other people's emotions, and
Yeah.
it's hard to
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
because as humans we want to be able to control things, but sometimes we just can't, and we have to. I've learned to find solutions quicker
Yeah.
by understanding this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't control this, but what's the solution?
Right.
Mhm.
How do I move forward? So
What would you say is the worst?
the worst advice.
Yeah.
Sheesh. The worst advice, bro.
Like, what's like the thing you're like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh my god, bro, this is crazy. The worst advice I've ever received.
I can give you an example of
Give me an
mine.
example.
Jeremy, you have to bleep this. You have to bleep this. So my dad, his advice that he told me, he said the best way to get over old pussies with new pussy. And I was like, and I
You're not lying,
I
though.
took his
Shout
advice
out to
and
Pops because he's not lying. Nah, but that's like very I think the worst advice that I've ever received is
that's
Huh?
what he
Huh?
said.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I resonate. Hey man, I'm trying to keep it 100. I think the worst advice would be like to just for example a breakup or something like that, to just forget about it.
Mm.
I don't think that works, bro. It doesn't
Why are
work.
you looking at me, bro?
I mean, yeah.
Hey.
We know what we know.
All right.
But I think I think to just forget doesn't work. I think you have to like go through the pain.
Yeah.
And that's just like even with football, and it's very general to everything. Like you can't just forget, bro, because then
Mhm.
it'll come back to you. So like you can forget, but you have to feel the emotions and actually like get over it, because we've all been through breakup. We've all had something that's happened to us, and
Yeah.
so you don't just people be like, just forget about it. No, you can't just forget about it, bro. You
Yeah.
have to feel every emotions, and you have to find a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta live through it.
If you were to
Yeah,
we have to.
recommend one Ethiopian dish to someone who's never had Ethiopian food, what would it be?
Shiro.
Shoro. So what does
Shiro,
that
yeah.
what does that consist of? What are the
It's like
ingredients?
chickpeas. It's like grounded chickpeas turned into stew.
Ooh.
It's also like we fast a lot, so it's vegan.
Mm.
It's high protein, so it's good, man. It tastes really good. I'll say shiro. It's easy to eat. It's not spicy.
Yeah.
So I think shiro. After the Naomi camp, we'll invite you. We're gonna have
Ooh.
Ethiopian food, so you come through.
Say less.
Yeah.
Come through, yeah.
I don't even think I've had that.
No, you have.
You
just
sure?
don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not,
I don't
because
think I
every time
have.
we
It's
bring
just, like,
you, we
in
don't
Jeddah.
eat like
Yeah,
vegan,
nah.
but we'll bring it out.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
And so we can
I'm
have
with
some.
it.
Yeah. Oh,
You had
okay.
shiro.
Yeah.
Hey, my guy. Yeah, so it's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's easy to eat as well.
Got you.
Yeah, I'm for sure gonna have to try that.
Yeah, I'll try.
Next one. Where do you see yourself and GBA in 5 years?
Bomba cloud.
Bomba cloud,
I
Ross
was just
cloud.
asking me this question too, the lady at
Yeah.
in moment. I don't know, man. Right now we're doing like something really big with, we're bringing someone into the business and expanding in the Middle East, and there's gonna be a lot of pro players coming in.
Yeah.
There's gonna be hopefully more sponsorships coming in. So I think in terms of like business, it's very like wide open. I'm also really tapping into the business side. Like I've found a passion for growing businesses and like really tapping into the entrepreneurial world. So personally, I think for me as well, I'm gonna grow and elevate as a businessman and also help other people build businesses.
That's great.
Personally, also through like Golden Boot, helping other private trainers build their business. In terms of Golden Boot, man, I think we're gonna expand more. I think we're gonna hire more coaches,
Love that.
Yeah.
which is not easy. But in the next 5 years, we want to be in LA. We want to be in the East Coast. We want to
Yeah.
be massively in Dubai, in the Middle East, Saudi. We want to have pro players consistently training with
Yeah.
us in the United States, consistently training with us in Marbella in Spain in the summer. And I want these guys to have like more leadership roles, more managerial roles, more roles in general as the core group, so that you're sitting here and
Mm.
you're talking to somebody that's working in SF, and you can have a conversation of basically like imitating what I'm doing now there, and
Yeah.
being able to grow financially as well.
Mm.
And I want these areas to feel like it's yours.
Mm.
And that's not only measured by how much money you make,
Mm.
but by actually making sure like that area is ran by you, and Golden Boot is really there, and the guys that are there working are really under you and
Yeah.
under the umbrella of us,
Yeah.
So if I'm tapping into this business world and really going away and sacrificing being on the field
Mm.
to be growing it, then I want you guys to be able to be in my shoes now, and then 10 years from now, then you're then now being able to
Yeah.
teach somebody, opening up a Golden Boot in, I don't know, in DC, where you are there and you are now running guys also in DC,
Yeah.
as opposed to, because you don't want to be on the pitch every single day.
At some
And
point, yeah.
eventually you don't.
At
You'll
some
have
point,
your
yeah.
core group.
Yeah.
You work with your core group, you work with your pros,
Yeah.
and then you run everyone else and make sure that the quality of the content is high. So
Yeah.
that's what I see for Golden Boot. But also a lot of exciting things are coming. I think it's just very hard to predict this is gonna be this way. I think there's a lot of growth. And I think it's sky's the limit, man.
It's a great 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Love it.
And when you're literally talking about right now too, how much your business mindset has grown, I've even seen it just like
Yeah.
from when I started being here to now. It's like it's crazy, the evolution, and I can see how much you learn just from the people around you, and just I think also the process of how everything has started to build, and I think that's a key component to really also shaping a good business and a good company, is making sure like not only you're elevating yourself in terms of like your personal standpoint of like you as a person, and also everything you do with what the business is, but understanding the business world is a whole different thing. And I know like really well as well, since you studied it and understood it. So it's, and even being in corporate world. So it's like seeing how you've grown in your understanding of the bit like of business is definitely, I think, helped elevate all of us too,
Yeah.
and helped us really understand, okay, we gotta have that approach and understand more of that approach so we can help not
Yeah.
only you get to that point, but all of us get to that those next steps that you see for all of us in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah. No, I think a really good like something to talk about that. I know we've been talking for a while, but it's I'll give you a quick example. So the way I think about Golden Boot, right, is not just as a coach. I would love it if I was just a coach and no, I didn't have to sit on the computer and do this and that. But fortunately and unfortunately, I've loved that aspect of it as well. So now I see Golden Boot as a coach. At the same time, I see it as business.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to develop sessions because what I'm really good at is media, right? I've learned to
Facts.
develop sessions to not take away from the player, but to also get the best content possible. Like I just know it. I know the drill will be good. I know the content will be good.
Yeah.
I know I won't take away from the kid. Everyone's happy. So these are the things that I'm trying to get these guys to see.
Yeah.
Think more like business,
Yeah.
and you will just plan a little bit more deeper in thought, and then the business grows while you're still making money and you're still developing the kid. That is very difficult to do. I was just having this conversation with Johannes and Abdu, and they were like, I know, but blah, blah. But I'm like, bro, you guys literally record half the sessions for me when I'm there. You do it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't tell you what to do. I just give you the phone.
We just
So
do
why
it.
can't you
Yeah.
do it for yourself? Because you're not looking at it from a business standpoint because you think it's going to take away from the kid. Find a solution of how to do both because it's
Yeah.
not impossible. And when you do that, your business elevates and everything grows at the same exact time. And trying to get these guys to see that is not easy.
No.
It's not easy. But like once they do, and Justin sees it a little better because I see the content that he's creating, and I'm sure you noticed it. Like he's getting
Of
better
course,
with the
yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
but he just has to like really tap into
Mm.
how fast can I do it? How quickly? What do I want?
Yeah.
And that segues
Yeah,
perfectly into how we close out our shows. So obviously, it's the Pitch and Pros podcast.
Yeah.
So, and you already touched on a lot of what I think you'll say to this answer. But what is your pitch to the fans out there on how to become a pro trainer and a pro business owner in the footy space and in sports in general?
You want me to look there when I say?
Yeah. It's
Go
the
ahead,
pitch to
yeah.
them. It's to them.
Talk to
It's
them.
everyone
Talk
over
to the
there.
family.
Damn,
Talk to the family.
bro.
Yeah.
Family, man. What is the best advice I can give them to become a pro trainer or start a private
Like
training
what's
business?
Yeah.
what's your pitch? Yeah. What would you say is like your pitch to start, like to really get it going?
First and foremost, I said it earlier, don't do it because other people are doing it. Don't do it because you just want to make a lot of money. Like really think about what it is that makes you happy, what it is that you're passionate about. It might not even be football at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It might be clothing brand, and you might learn that that's what you want, or it might be, working for someone. It might be corporate. It might be tech. But find that one thing, especially if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur. Find that one thing that you're very passionate about. That like whatever wall you hit, you can have a solution, or you can go through it because you actually enjoy doing it. And if you want to tap into the football world and you want to be a pro trainer, you want to build a business where you're doing camp of 120 kids, be patient, build something first. I see a lot of people now, right? They'll go backwards. So they'll go, because on social media you can come to Golden Boot, you can see somebody's page and imitate that page, have a logo in 5 minutes from fiverr.com, but you're going backwards. You're literally going, like, you're gonna hit a wall because you're starting from the end. Like the brand develops itself. Yes, you got to have a good name. Yes, you need to have a good logo, but the substance of the brand is not the logo. It's the essence is what is it first? What is the value? Golden Boot, community driven soccer platform. That is what we live by. That is what it is. And within that, we have so many branches. The logo is just the logo. We can change the logo today, and tomorrow we can update the logo, which we do anyway. So first have the essence of your business, then follows the brand, then build it, then methodology, then it will just roll out on its own. So,
Boom.
and you want to be a pro trainer, that's gonna take freaking time. Unless you know some Premier League players and you're close with them, you can train them. They're very impossible to reach, but the brand and your message will attract them eventually, and the quality of your training. So, by all means, please do it. Please be an entrepreneur. Please build a business, but don't start from the top. Like, start with your values first.
Boom. That was perfect.
That really was.
And we actually have a gift for you.
Oh,
let me
shoot.
find it here.
I
Where
know
I put it.
Justin
Oh, right
don't
there.
pay no money,
Right
so.
here. Hey.
No, it's
I'm
from
just
from
kidding.
all of
It's
us.
from all
It's
of
a
us. We appreciate
appreciation
you.
for
Thank
you
you.
being our first
Should I
guest on
open
the
it?
show. Yeah, open it.
Nah, no one gets to see it.
Sheesh.
Got you a little card. You can
Okay,
read that
okay.
later if you want.
Wow.
Other side. Open the other side. Or you can see it on that side.
Oh,
I didn't know it was
hey.
on both sides.
Blue bottle is expensive, Just.
Hey,
Wow.
And peep the type of roast that it is too.
Sheesh. You know I love coffee, bro.
this guy, coffee maestro
Bro,
right
I
here.
love coffee. And one day I hope you guys
Always
can come to
mixing.
Ethiopian
Ethiopia.
coffee.
Yeah.
Because in Ethiopia, coffee is like, it's everything, right?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
drink it at 10 p.m. So,
Yeah.
no, I love coffee, man. And we have our coffee maker here. And, next time
Oh
we'll
yeah.
open this up. But thank you guys, man.
Of course.
No.
Like I
we
said in the
appreciate it.
beginning, bro, I'm honored. When I do something, like, I think about it and why I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't like half-ass shit. Hopefully you guys felt that it was real.
Oh, for
100%,
sure.
When
yeah.
I talk a lot, that means I
Facts.
give a shit. I care.
We
Yeah.
appreciate the insight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
definitely.
care about Justin a lot. I
Mm.
wouldn't just sacrifice my whole night just to do something like this. So I care about
Mm.
you a lot.
Mm.
I love you. I just, we met recently and you're an amazing guy. And you behind the camera, Jeremy, like, you're also amazing, like, from your personality. So we're locked in now. But at the end of the
Thank you,
day,
bro.
Justin, you're amazing.
I appreciate
I want you
bro.
to grow. I want you to be with Golden Boot. And as long as,
All right,
we
bet.
have you and you're
That's the
around.
plan.
And I think the sky's the limit for you guys as well with Pitch and Pros. I've
Thank
seen
you.
a lot of podcasts start from nothing and go here. So
Yeah.
you guys, my
It's the
biggest
hope.
advice to y'all is, bro, don't stop. Like,
Thank you.
it might take 5 years,
you.
it might take 10 years, but in the
Yeah.
media world, you never know. And it's not about who you bring on.
No.
It's about what you're consistently preaching.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 clients, you have 2 people listening, you have 4 people listening, then they bring in 2 people.
Yep.
Don't give up. I mean,
Mm.
like, look where we are. Maybe a couple years from now, we'll be sitting in your studio.
You already know.
In
Yeah.
your studio,
Yeah.
and then you bring me back. Hopefully, when you're a little bit more famous, and you can
Yeah.
pay me a little bit more. You know what I mean?
That's great.
You can pay me in more
Get that
than
booking fee.
You feel me? But hey, no, like, keep at it. I want to see y'all in
appreciate
like in your own studio and massively, because again, like, and whatever I can do to help. Like I said, I'm down to help. If
That's
you
love.
are,
Thank you for
the
that.
pro players that you train,
That's love. Yeah.
it's opportunity for you to, I don't think
Speak what you
Maxime is out of reach for you
I
to do
know.
a podcast with.
Yeah.
He might come back to LA. You talk to him and say, hey, maybe we can chat for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just pick his brain.
Yeah.
That's, for y'all. I'll open that door for y'all anytime. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that.
there's opportunity in Golden Boot for what you guys are doing as well.
100%.
Pitch
yeah.
and Pros. Like, I mean, it's
And
almost like you planned.
And even
that
if you
name.
look at a lot of our content too, it's us
Yeah.
like supporting what you got going on.
No, I know. I
Yeah.
see it. I
Yeah.
see
No, we
it.
appreciate it.
I see it. So
Yeah.
just know that, Golden Boot is fully in support of you guys. And
Thank you.
if y'all need sponsorships or whatever it is, then just holler at me and we'll make something happen. I mean,
Means a
Justin
lot.
is Golden Boot, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Means a
don't
lot.
forget to utilize it is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Facts,
Because I think the business itself, beyond me, the business itself can like bring you guys a lot more like
Yeah.
light, right? Because at the end of the day, media is about reach and you never know who's watching.
Yeah. So
keep
Goose,
going, man.
let the family know where the people can find you. Let they know what you got going on, and then Justin, let them know where they can find us and what we got going on.
Sounds you first, Goose.
Yeah, man. I'm in. Social media.
Social media.
Social
yeah.
media,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gonna
I
tell
was
everyone you're at your address or what?
bro. I live at
you can tell everyone where you're
yeah.
at.
So social media, Golden Boot Academy. I run that account. So anybody who wants to reach out on Golden Boot for whatever coaching, whatever you want on Golden Boot. If you want to reach me on my personal, it's Nigus, Niagosee. It's spelled
Lot of letters.
Nigus, Nigus, but people can't pronounce it. I'm gonna let y'all think about why I made it Niagosee. You feel me? So yeah, and I'm very responsive. So whatever y'all have questions about Golden Boot or business or whatever, it's just tap in. Yeah, and if you want my number, get it from Justin.
I got you. Nah, but we appreciate you, Goose, for real. Nah,
Yeah,
it,
no,
it
thank
means a
you.
lot. And to tap in with us more, follow us at Pitch and Pros on Instagram. You can check us out here. More videos on YouTube, on Spotify. You can check us out at Pitch and Pros as well. If you want to check out my personal page, it's at JustinWolf06 on Instagram. It's fun. You can
My personal
shout out your
page
own.
at Stefan C. Jones. It's Stefan. If you put a PH, we not cool like that because people spell my name wrong all the time.
And I've seen it.
And like
Don't be
Justin said,
complaining about names, bruh.
nah, man, people call me Steven, Stefan, all the
You
whole
want me? Should I
gamut.
say what people call me?
What?
Should I say what people call me?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't even do it. I'm too professional for that.
Yeah, see, we got to protect the image, but
yeah.
yeah, like Justin said, you can find us on YouTube at Pitch and Pros. We're on
Yep.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. If you're listening on Spotify, they have a feature for you to leave a comment. Please leave us a comment. Give us your feedback. Let us know who you want to see next. Let us know which topics you want to hear. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for listening to episode 6 of the Pitch and Pros Cup podcast. See you all later.
Shout out
Appreciate
Pitch
you.
and Pros.